my Who album ranking video. I know it's taken a month or two. I've gotten several requests for this. I just haven't gotten around to doing it until now. So I'm pretty excited to share my thoughts with you on their albums. I'm not gonna do like a huge extensive review for each album, obviously. I'm just gonna kind of go through what albums I really enjoy, actually all their albums. So I'm gonna go from least favorite to create just a little bit of suspense, unlike my last Pete Townsend ranking video where I went from favorite to least favorite. So yeah, as you guys know, I'm a huge Who fan. I'm a huge Pete Townsend fan. They are my #1 favorite band of all time. My love for the Who started back in high school. I found my dad's copy of Who's Next on vinyl, so I ended up listening to that a lot. And he also had Live at Leeds on CD. So I kind of, I don't know, stole that for a while, and I rode the bus to school. So I had my Sony Discman, and I would just listen to that and Tommy a lot to and from school. So yeah, my love for the Who runs pretty deep. I just think the band had the best of the best. So they had the best vocalist, they had the best songwriter and guitarist, they had the best bassist, they had the best drummer. So I mean, the perfect elements for a perfect band came together with the Who for me. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and rank their albums here. Keep in mind, this is my personal opinion. You may disagree with my picks, and that's fine. I welcome, you know, polite, friendly discussion, absolutely. So if you disagree with me, that is a-okay. You do you, you know. So the first one, make sure I have everything I need here. So my absolute least favorite Who album is Who Are You? Okay, and this is the last album with Keith Moon before he died. To me, this is just a total flop. You can tell the band are struggling. Personally, Who Are You, the title track, that song, that's my least favorite Who single ever. Whenever it comes on the radio, I just kind of cringe when I hear it. I'm over it. I hate that song. Sorry, Pete. Yeah, so I can't stand that. And just, this is kind of like a cheesy, there's some cheesy songs on here. You got Sister Disco. There's a few good ones. I like Trick of the Light. I like Had Enough and New Song. But overall, I don't even know why I have the vinyl of this, but I've had it a few years now. I never listen to this, you guys. It's not a good one for me. So that's number 12 for me. Okay, the next one I don't even own anymore, and it is Endless Wire. That came out in 2006. That's the very last Who album, if you can consider it a Who album. It's just Pete and Roger. No, I don't have a hate for the album. It's just not one I grab at all. In fact, I sold it. What I did like from that period, and this one I do grab quite frequently, this is Wire and Glass. So it's like the mini opera. This was released before Endless Wire. This is pretty amazing. It's like a mini opera. It's 6 songs. It's like 11 minutes total, maybe less. But I just think it's amazing. And Roger sounds good on this. In my opinion, Endless Wire, Roger's really struggling vocally on that, but he sounds, in my opinion, better on Wire and Glass here. So this is a really good listen. If you didn't really dig Endless Wire, you might dig this. And yeah, I was just really underwhelmed by Endless Wire. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes to try to remember. There was a few songs I did like from it, and that's God Speaks of Marty Robbins. It was like a beautiful acoustic Pete track, and I did like Black Widow's Eyes as well. But yeah, I bought it originally when it came out and was just disappointed with it, so I much prefer this by far. So that's number 11, Endless Wire. Number 10 is It's Hard. And you know, the Who's 80s albums, they're pretty much a flop all around. So I have this on cassette. It's Hard. And I believe this came out in 82. So I do like some songs on here. My favorite songs on here are Athena, Eminence Front. You guys all know Eminence Front. That was the hit from this. And I've Known No War. That's another song I really liked. Cry If You Want. I really like the guitar work on that, the guitar riff. So there are some good songs on here, but it's not one I really grab when I'm really feeling The Who, or when I'm really wanting to listen to The Who. It's one I do overlook. So this is number 10 for me. Okay, the next one I have on vinyl, and that is Facedance's. Another 80s album. This came out in, let's see here. Of course, it's not on the back. But this one came out before It's Hard. Kind of cool cover. I've got the poster that came with the vinyl in here, and it's basically just the same thing as this. I do like it a little more than It's Hard, probably because I listened to this quite a bit when I was younger. You know, there's several corny songs, but it was kind of a grower album for me. So I know people hate this, but it was a grower for me. And my favorite songs, oh, by the way, You Better You Bet, you guys all have heard that because it's a big song that they always still play on the classic rock stations. But so You Better You Bet I liked. Don't Let Go of the Coat. Let's see. I like How Can You Do It Alone? And Another Tricky Day. That was a song I always had on repeat, like when I was in college. So, yeah, I don't hate this album, you guys. But it's not one I really grab anymore. So that would be what? That's my number 9 album from The Who. All right, the next one is a quick one. This is the second Who album. So this one right here. And Patman 1966 was generous enough to send this to me, so thank you again. It's awesome to have this on vinyl, especially, you know, with Who Sell Out. It's a great double LP set. Anyways, a quick one was the second Who album. You got several good songs on here. You know, you can tell that the Who are trying to figure out what their sound is with this. Of course, Boris the Spider, that's John Entwistle's track on here. It's kind of entertaining, and they often played that one live. Other favorite songs on here would be I Need You, which I believe Keith Moon wrote that song. And then I also really like Don't Look Away, See My Way, which Roger wrote. So Sad About Us, that's probably my favorite track on the whole album. And then a quick one, While He's Away, the title track for this is kind of, you can kind of see Pete's kind of preparing to write rock operas with that, so you kind of get a taste of where he's going. And it's just like a medley of songs. It's like a 9-minute track of snippets of different songs, so it's definitely a good listen. I always enjoyed hearing them play that live in the late 60s too, because I got several bootlegs. But yeah, it's a good effort. Not one of my favorites though. Also, there's an awesome Keith song on here called Cobwebs and Strange, but his drum solo on that is pretty badass, of course. So that would be my number 8, a quick one. All right, number 7 is The Who by Numbers. I know a lot of people bash this album. I do like the cover art, which John Entwistle drew. It's just like, you know, connect the dots of The Who. Anyways, yeah, this came out in 1975. You can tell that Pete Townsend is struggling with some major issues with his songwriting on here. You know, the song However Much I Booze. And there's some other good songs on here. I do enjoy Slip Kid. I like Squeeze Box, Dreamin' From the Waist. Basically all of the first side is pretty good to me. And then on side 2, my favorite is Blue, Red, and Gray, which is like a lovely... I think it's on banjo. Is it banjo or mandolin that he's playing? But it's a beautiful song. So anyway, this is my number 7 on my Who ranking list. All right, and I'm looking at my iPad for notes. Just ignore me doing that. Number 6, My Generation, The Who's first album, and Patman 1966 also got this for me. And this is the mono version. This is really cool. I always like the cover on this, by the way. You know, very British, very mod. Alright, so of course you have My Generation, which was an awesome breakthrough song for the band. The only thing I don't care about this album is the James Brown covers. I can do without those, so I don't mind. And please, 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 I mean, I can do without those because I don't really like Roger's vocal delivery. But other songs I really enjoy are The Good's Gone, La 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 Lies, Much Too Much, The Kids Are Alright, It's Not True, and A Legal Matter. So you've got several just great songs on here. What a debut for this band. All right, so that was my number 6. Number 5. Now we're getting to the good stuff. So my top 5 Who albums, now they are kind of interchangeable. Like, it depends what mood I'm in. So my top 5 could change, you know, by the year. So what I say is number 1 could be my number 2 next year, you know. So, but this is my top 5 at the moment. All right, number 5 for me, Quadrophenia, The Who's second concept album. Now, this came out in 1973. It's The Who's second concept album. You know, it's about mods and rockers in the mid-60s England. So, it's kind of an interesting story. You know, Jimmy is this young man. He's trying to find himself. He struggles with relationships and his family and finding work, losing jobs. He takes speed pills, and it just kind of tells his story about his struggles. And what's interesting about this album is that Jimmy kind of represents the 4 members of the band. Yeah, he has like personality traits that represent the 4 different members of the band, so that's kind of cool. This is just a real joy to listen to. Both sides are good, but I have to say side 2 is the winner for me on this. And my favorite songs are The Real Me, I Am One, which is just an awesome song lyrically as it is musically. Let's see, Is It In My Head, I've Had Enough, 515, Sea and Sand, Drown. I love when Pete has played Drown in the past just with his acoustic guitar. Like, his strumming is amazing. And what else do I like? Dr. Jimmy and Love Reign Over Me, which is like just the opus on here. It's amazing. So yeah, Quadrophenia is a stellar album. I recommend you check it out if you haven't heard it before. That's my number 5. What is my number 4? Oh yes, Who's Next? Who's Next is my number 4. Anyway, yeah, Who's Next was my introduction to the band because my dad had this on vinyl. Start to finish, you guys know how good this is. It's pretty hard to top this. It could have become a concept album, but Pete couldn't quite get there. But something I mentioned before I want to get eventually is Lifehouse Chronicles, which contains Pete's demos for these songs and just other ideas, but it's very expensive. But so this could have became Lifehouse, you know, the big concept album, but it didn't quite get there. I think it's fine as it is, honestly. And yeah, look at the album cover. It's a classic album cover where they're peeing on the wall there. So I'm sure you're probably all sick of Baba O'Reilly and Won't Get Fooled Again. You know, I can't say that I sit through and listen to those too often anymore from start to finish, but ooh, I'm struggling with this. My favorite songs on here would have to be Bargain, Love Ain't For Keepin', The Song's Over, and Goin' Mobile. So perfect songwriting from Pete, just a great recording. It sounds excellent. Love this album. My number 4. Alright, number 3. I am including a live album in this, you guys. It's my list. I'm going to do what I want. So this is Live at Leeds, and I'm including this because, well, who doesn't like this, first of all? I listened to this nonstop when I was in high school, and I think it's worthy of being included in any Who album ranking for sure. Yeah, I have the deluxe edition, which the second disc is all of Tommy that they played. So awesome, you guys. It's just like in your face, guitar assault, drum explosion, super loud bass. It all comes together on this album. I don't think Pete was very happy with this recording. I'm not sure why. Or maybe I'm thinking of Woodstock. I don't remember what Pete's thoughts are on Live at Leeds, but it is mind-blowingly good in my opinion. One of the best albums of all time. This and Neil Young's Live at Massey Hall are probably my two favorite live albums ever. So good. So good. Alright, number 2, of course, is Tommy. And yeah, I'm still looking for the vinyl copy of this, but this is a deluxe edition of Tommy. So this came out in 68 or 69. It's their 4th album, their first concept album or rock opera. The plot, is it definitive? Not really. You know, there's probably several holes in it. The story is kind of outlandish and odd. I didn't really like it for the story. I listened to it for the actual music that Pete composed and created. I think the music on here just really moved me when I was in high school. So this, along with Live at Leeds, I listened to on the bus just nonstop. Yeah, musically, this is a masterpiece to me. I never get sick of this. The story, I'm not really big into. By the way, I will mention that a lot of music I love, and I listen to music for the actual music. Lyrics are kind of secondary to me most of the time, even though I do love Pete's songwriting throughout the career. But for me, what gets me with The Who is just his guitar structures, his progressions, his vocal delivery. This is why I think he's a genius. So yes, he's like one of my favorite lyricists of all time as well, but Pete Townshend's music just really moves me. So that's a huge reason why I love Tommy, and I still listen to it quite a bit. Overture, what an opening track, instrumental. Of course, Amazing Journey and Sparks are pretty amazing. The Acid Queen is pretty good too. And then, what else do I love from here? Sensation, I'm Free, We're Not Gonna Take It, and then of course See Me, Feel Me, Listening to You, the last track on here. And if you get this deluxe edition, you get outtakes and demos. I love listening to Pete's demos. They're just excellent. So yeah, Tommy, my number 2 choice from The Who. Alright, number 1. Current number 1 anyway. The Who Sell Out. Oh, and I got to show this too because I do have this on vinyl as well. The Who Sell Out, you guys. This is just such a treat to listen to this album from start to finish. There's some humor in it. You've got the radio jingles that are pretty funny in between the songs, and I don't know, it's one I usually come back to, this album. So, and there's a lot of Pete songs on here or I should say Pete vocal tracks on here, which I just love. So yeah, The Who were kind of experimenting with the psychedelia and trippy songs because this came out in 67, I believe. It's The Who's 3rd studio album. I think maybe from the jingles maybe there were some lawsuits from that. I have to read more into that. I think I read that somewhere, but anyway, I love the sound of the album overall, and just some great tracks on here. So my favorites, there's several favorites actually. Tattoo, which they played live a lot in the 60s, and it's also on Live at Leeds. So the 3 masterpiece, gorgeous Pete songs where he actually sings to are Our Love Was, Is, I Can't Reach You, and Sunrise. Sunrise is, oh my gosh, just gorgeous. But I love this whole thing. Also Relax, that's kind of a trippy song, right? It's cool. I'm really excited for the live album that's coming out maybe this weekend. It's The Who live at Fillmore East, 1968. But they play Relax on that, so I'm like super excited to get that. What about you guys? Are you guys gonna go out and get that? I haven't even checked the price on it yet, but it should be pretty good. And of course, Rael, parts 1 and 2. I don't even know what else to say about this album, Who Sell Out. It's just so good. You have to hear it for yourself. I'm not very good at describing albums, you guys, but that's my number one for sure. So yeah, my top 5 I think are pretty interchangeable. Let me know what you guys think. I don't know if I have anything else to add. If I do, I'll leave it in the description box below. So yeah, that's my Who ranking list. Let me know what you guys think, and maybe I'll do a Depeche Mode ranking list as well, because they're in my top 3 groups of all time. So yeah, happy Friday, you guys, and have a good one. I'll be back next time. Bye.